going to talk about India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. Now, showcasing the country's growing prowess of indigenous manufacturing and a major milestone in the path towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday commissioned country's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, at Cochin Shipyard Limited. India has entered into a select band of nations having this niche capability to indigenously design and build an aircraft carrier. Designed by Indian Navy's in-house Warship Design Bureau and built with state-of-the-art automation features, INS Vikrant is the largest ship ever built in maritime history of India. It is capable of operating air wing consisting of 30 aircraft comprising of MiG-29K fighter jets, a Kamo of 31 MH-60R multi-role helicopters, in addition to the indigenously manufactured ALH, that is Advanced Light Helicopters, and Light Combat Aircraft naval version as well. So today, in perspective, we will discuss and analyze the importance, the significance of the commissioning of INS Vikrant, and also what does INS Vikrant brings to the table in terms of increase in Indian Navy's heft and the overall the indigenization movement of defense manufacturing as well. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of experts. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with we're joined by retired Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, who is the former head of the India's Western Naval Command as well. Welcome to the show, Admiral Sinha. And Abhijit Singh is also joining us. He's head of the Maritime Policy Initiative at ORF, and senior defense journalist Ajay Banerjee is also with us. Welcome, both of you gentlemen as well, Abhijit and Ajay. So, Ajay, let's begin with you, and let's start with, trying to understand the key aspects of Friday's ceremony where INS Vikrant was commissioned. If you could take us through what actually transpired there.
Thank you, Vishal. See, first of all, let us all understand for your viewers that the INS Vikrant is one of the biggest warships we have made in the country. It is 5 to 7 times bigger than anything we have attempted earlier. The 45,000-ton warship also means that we are in the League of Nations who makes such aircraft carriers. There are only 5 or 6 countries, and no other country shares such technology with you. This is a very important aspect. Now, I personally believe that we need new aircraft on it. We already have the MiG-29K, the Russian jets. New aircraft, I hope we go by the twin-engine deck-based fighter that is being made by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Today's ceremony is vital in terms of strategic outreach. It widens the arc of the Indian Navy. It gives us the speed, the resilience, and also, most importantly, which people keep on missing, the latest technology will be available with the Indian Navy for the first time. By latest technology, I mean contemporary technology. The technology which we were using earlier, say we were using the first of the Vikrant or the Virat or even the Vikramaditya, they did not have these fast gas turbine engines which the Vikrant has, and it generates around 88 megawatts of power. So Vikrant makes a new beginning for us. I hope we make more such beginnings and we go on to make more such carriers, Vishal.
Okay. So new beginnings, and in fact, very significant ones as well. Admiral Sinha, I'd like to bring you in here, from your perspective as somebody who's been with Indian Navy for a considerable amount of time, have led from the front as well. How significant do you think this movement is in terms of bringing on board a new platform? But the significance of this new platform?
The Indian Navy has always had a philosophy of working on carrier battle groups. And they have always projected to have 2 battle groups operational at any one time, and a 3rd carrier in what is called the refit or maintenance. So this is again for a first time and maybe short time that we do have 2 aircraft carriers, and hopefully we should be able to field the 2nd aircraft carrier battle group. Now the issue is that if you have just one carrier and whole of Indian Ocean to project your power or carry the firepower into closer home into the enemy's territory, then you are short. And the second one gives the Indian Navy the ability possibly to operate one on the west coast and one on the eastern side. As you know that our threats are increasing every day from the eastern side, from where we are expecting more and more threats as the time passes by. So it gives a lot of confidence to the Indian Navy, to the country, that though we have all the rest of the ships in that carrier battle group, but we didn't have the center of this group, the carrier. So I think that it gives a lot of flexibility and much more muscle to the Indian Navy and to our country.
Okay. Abhijit, in terms of the strategic significance, as Admiral Sinha was pointing out, and Ajay also referred to it, seems very important given the fact that we have Indian Navy specifically has a huge responsibility in terms of not only securing our coastline, but also beyond the coastline.
That is correct, Vishal. But let me just begin by saying that the Vikrant's commissioning is sort of a tectonic moment in the history of the nation. There are rarely moments like today when people are joined in emotion and in joy. And as one maritime analyst remarked today in a program in the morning that I was watching, that the entire country is Team Vikrant today. We are all united in ecstasy and in joy. So it's a great thing to happen for the Navy and for the nation. I think that it's the strategic significance of a career is undoubted. The fact is that the Vikrant, or the aircraft carrier, actually sits right in the center of India's maritime strategy, and the reason for that is that it is an important power projection tool. There are platforms that are used for warfighting. There are platforms that are used for soft power projection, and then there are platforms like the aircraft carrier that are used for both maritime diplomacy and hard power projection. So in that sense, this is a very vital platform for us to have. As both Ajay and Admiral Sinha have pointed out, that what we actually need are at least two operational carriers on the one on the eastern front, one on the western front. But I would go on to say that what we also need, I think, is a third aircraft carrier. Of course, that's going to take much longer to come, perhaps a decade or more. And it is entirely possible that it might not come in the near future, because apparently we have a problem of budgets and funding, and the emphasis at this point seems to be more towards submarines. So I'm not sure whether it's going to come, but strategy-wise, I think we do need a third aircraft carrier, because if we have to project power beyond the Indian Ocean region, and this is the important point, that a 45,000-ton aircraft carrier is a mid-size aircraft carrier. It's not a big carrier. The Chinese carriers are like something like 65,000 tons. The US goes up to 90,000 tons. So we will need at least a third aircraft carrier in the future if we have to project some real coercive power in the Pacific. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that procuring and commissioning the INS Vikrant is a significant achievement, and for a wide variety of reasons, as both my co-panelists have pointed out, the fact that it does great for indigenization, for project management, etc. But in the future, I think we're going to have to consider the fact that as India's stature on the world stage grows, we will definitely require a third aircraft carrier to provide the ballast to our maritime strategy.
Okay. Ajay, two questions here. One, taking up from what Abhijit was pointing out, and you're also earlier referring to, Admiral Sinha also mentioned that in terms of having another aircraft carrier, the need, and also where do we stand. The other part, and that's also very important. With the INS Vikrant, as I was also saying, and all of you are also referring to, we've entered an elite club now. Countries which can design and build an aircraft carrier themselves. So in terms of indigenization capability, Indian Navy seems to have always taken, the lead. Where are we vis-a-vis, other capabilities of Indian Navy, other ships being made as well?
Vishal, at the moment, we are making around 49 ships in India. And these ships are all of all size and shapes, including the carrier which has been commissioned today was part of those ships being made out here. Designing a carrier from our drawings, getting it validated, what metal to use, how will the deck be made, and how will you make all these compartments? The ship is 61 meters high, 15 stories. How do you plan all this? It has got 2,400 kilometers of cables. How do you plan all this? This is a very important thing. Water filtration plants, lifts to bring the aircraft up. We have made a significant change from the Vikramaditya. The Vikramaditya has its lifts in the middle of the flight deck. That means when operations are going on, the lift cannot operate. In case of the Vikrant, the Navy very wisely took the lifts outside, like American or British carriers today have. The lifts are outside the flight deck. So there's a separate compartment that brings the planes up from the hangar. These are all new technologies. How do you master these? I was standing on the deck of the Vikrant just a week ago in Kochi, and I was amazed at the engineering people have done and the work people have done in making this carrier. It is one of the best things India has done for itself. It has taken us 15, 17 years to make it. Okay, well done. Keep it up. It has taken some time. It could take just 7 to 8 years. I was talking to the chairman of the Kochi Shipyard Limited. He says we can do it, the next carrier, in 7 to 8 years. But I would agree with Commodore Abhijit that probably we need to plan for the third carrier or announce it now. I was hoping it will be announced today. Somebody will speak about it, either the Prime Minister or the RM or the Navy Chief. It has not happened, but I'm sure people are listening and they're aware of it. The security architecture of the country knows that the third carrier is needed. Yes, we are expanding our bases at Andaman Nicobar Islands. The bars is expanded to hold PATI or the fighter jets. Yes, those all are happening. But the point is, an aircraft carrier is an aircraft carrier. A floating island, as the Prime Minister today said in Kochi. It's like a floating aircraft, floating airfield. That's what it is, Vishal. We need more. And yes, well done. I would all hats off to Kochi Shipyard Limited, the Indian Navy, to make us people who have done all this work, small little MSMEs, almost 100 MSMEs have done work on this. People have put cables, switches, so many things, little things. But a great moment, great pride. I hope we do more. Vishal?
Okay. Admiral Sinha, two aspects. One is what kind of a sort of a capability in terms of INS Vikrant as an, indigenous aircraft carrier it brings on board. And also, all of you are referring to this fact that we need to have perhaps a third aircraft carrier as well. If you could shed more light, from your perspective as to why is an aircraft carrier so important for any Navy and specifically for Indian Navy?
Vishal, firstly, to come to your first part of the question, that what does it bring on the table? It brings a lot. Apart from the combination of 30 aircraft, hopefully 2 types of fighter at some point in time, and mix of helicopters of MH-60 Romeo and ALH and, the old Sea Kings are still around. The best part is that by itself also it has a lot of weapon systems. It is fitted with a very advanced radar system. It has got a very advanced surface-to-air missile, which is in collaboration with Israel. It is being manufactured here in our own country. And it has got many other smaller equipment. There are electronic warfare equipment, there are jammers. So that is one part of real firepower. Aircraft are weapons for an aircraft carrier. And therefore, we should not write off by saying that aircraft carrier does not have anything to itself. Aircraft carrier, the aircraft is very much a weapon system. That is number one. The second part is that, as Abhijit mentioned, that there is a lot of peacetime, navies don't go to war every day. In fact, navies prevent war. We have said this on your own program in the past. So when you prevent war, does it mean that you are not ready? Aircraft carriers sail with almost their full complement when they sail as a fleet. And they are not only giving power or feeling of power to India, but the littorals in the Indian Ocean region. They are all looking up to you. They all need help. They are all being harassed by all kinds of economic coercion and maybe military coercion. They need a dependable, preferred security partner. And this makes your case more credible. It makes your case even more solid. HADR, this our Arabian Sea and the Eastern Seaboard got world's almost largest number of cyclones and devastation. How do you send very large amount of items in one shot? Our aircraft carrier and our ships are always carrying what is called the HADR bricks, which has got a certain amount of aid, and that can be offloaded very quickly. Obviously, on an aircraft carrier, you can carry more of those bricks. So in peacetime, it gives confidence to all your littorals, which are very, very many of them in Indian Ocean, who are threatened by coercion, both economic and military, for them to fall back on the preferred security partner, giving them, yes, we are here for you. So that's a very, very big advantage of leading the bunch. Second point, we are the whole international world order, etc. They're saying that it is undergoing a change. Yes, it is undergoing a change. And certainly India is not expecting or accepting that, that bipolar world or a unipolarity is in any case on the decline. So here is an opportunity for India to be pole by itself. If you are a pole by yourself, along with the other countries in the Indian Ocean littorals, and maybe Southeast Asian country, who knows? So you are not being dictated for your actions by any other country, but you are the master of your own destiny and those of your, the neighborhood. Sagar is a big slogan which the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given to the world, not only to the country, to the world. And people are appreciating that you are standing by, you're doing what is required to make India real Sagar, search and the security and growth for all in the region. So I think this gives you that ability to perform all that what we have been saying on paper.
Okay. Abhijit, on the same aspect, in terms of the need and the importance, aircraft carriers are of course required for any navy. But from Indian Navy's perspective, as you were making the case earlier also, that there is a need for a third aircraft carrier, and perhaps in the years to come we might see that realized as well. But the importance and the need, both, how do you assess them right now?
Yes, so I'm going to begin by agreeing with what Admiral Sinha just pointed out. I think the reason why the aircraft carrier is so important to maritime operations is that it has a role both in tactics and in strategy. In tactics, it's important to understand that the aircraft carrier provides naval operations with the essential vitality, meaning the aircraft carrier is that core, the nucleus around which all maritime operations revolve. And if you have your carrier deployments planned well, you can project effective power in the littorals, as Admiral Sinha was pointing out. But I think more important is its role in strategy. The fact is that the aircraft carrier is a projection of national will and national intent. There is no other platform other than the aircraft carrier that one can play the same role tactically and strategically, but also a platform that can have the same demonstrative effect, impact in peacetime as the aircraft carrier does. You could send a destroyer or a submarine to foreign waters, but it will not have the same impact. And in that sense, the aircraft carrier has a role in shaping the psychological dynamic or the psychological balance in the littorals. So if you, for instance, send in a aircraft carrier for even HADR help, the kind of impact that it has, the kind of influence that it projects is very different, is qualitatively different from any other platform. And therefore, aircraft carriers need not be seen only in a combat context. I think the mistake that some of us often commit, some of us analysts often commit, is to just limit the conversation with regard to carriers to a maritime conflict or a maritime or a naval dynamic context. And there I think we commit a mistake because the aircraft carrier has a role that goes much beyond naval operations. It's a way of demonstrating what a nation can do, both in terms of maritime operations as well as in terms of developmental operations. And so I think it's important for us to plan for a third aircraft carrier also.
Admiral Sinha, one question which all of us would want to hear an answer from you is the difference vis-a-vis Indian Navy's capabilities when you were part of it, in terms of the platforms, in terms of technologies, and where we stand today. And therein lies the another aspect here, and that is the indigenization journey of Indian Navy.
Vishal, I think that's a very important question that you have asked. Let me try and answer those. Now, first question first. In the 8 years since I left the Navy, Navy has progressed, it has jumped, not only by leaps and bounds, it has really taken a big high jump. High jump in the real sense. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity of visiting Western Naval Command to attend the Golden Jubilee. And I was taken to one of the new ships, which is commissioned, Cochin and Chennai. I was quite surprised to see it was a bigger Delhi class, but the whole operations room looked totally foreign to me. The automation, the modernization of electronics, the modernization of radar screens, and there's nothing visible. You sit on a table and everything comes on a big screen. So it's so much easier for the captain to actually take a call. and see the entire picture in one place on one screen.
Okay.
So I think we have moved quite a lot. We have had a big fitment of new surface to their missile. Now I find that BrahMos is being fitted an indigenous collaborative surface to surface missile being fitted and very effective. In fact, now we have started exporting. So I think the firepower wise, indigenization,
Okay.
other system also pointed out that he was quite surprised to see what the engineers have done. Yes, and I will only add to that can you imagine that the 4 gas turbine engines driving 2 propellers, and these engines have to be put in.
Admiral Sinha, we're losing connection with you, but quick final concluding comment from you, Ajay, on those aspects which Admiral Sinha and Abhijit were pointing out as well, and you also referred to. Now, looking ahead, how do you see, the path in terms of the timelines which have been set? You were earlier saying that more than 40, ships being built of various sizes. So, in terms of timelines as well, and in terms of capability addition also.
Yes, Vishal, I'll take up from where Admiral Sinha left because, I have personally seen as a reporter in the past 20 years that Navy has gone into modular construction. The bridge, as we call the bridge, as Admiral Sinha was also referring to, is the control room, the topmost stack of the fridge of the warship. Now, when the captain stands there, is the command and control integration system. This is all built in India, even on the Vikrant. The newer warships are modular; they are made very quickly. As I was quoting earlier, also that the next aircraft carrier of say the 50,000 ton size will be made in 7-8 years. We are making a new dock at Kochi, which can take in a carrier of 70,000 tons also. By dock, I mean the dock can withstand the weight of that carrier. So 70,000 ton carrier with a dock is being made at Kochi, right at the same place where the Vikrant has been commissioned. Now, to look at ahead, the time has come for us to realize where we stand. We are not an expeditionary force. We are very clear. Our area of interest is from between the states of Hormuz to our west to states of Malacca to our east. It's a very vast area. We have been patrolling in anti-piracy areas. We have had one carrier. We have had carriers in the past. We have destroyers. We have frigates. We have better ships, better airplanes. The Boeing P-8Is do surveillance. We have got two drones on lease from the US, the Predators. And I hope we are now coming up with a new maritime strategy where our consolidation of the assets taking place, and we have to clearly match China, which is now growing at a very fast pace. And Asian carrier race is on. China has 2 deployable carriers. The third one is on the dock, and in the docks, I mean in China. Japan has refitted 2 of its helicopter carriers to make them fly F-35 fighter jets. Korea has announced a carrier. America has got 11. Britain has got 2. France has got 1. So we better pull up our socks and start thinking on the lines of a big strategic country. As Prime Minister Modi said, 100 years, what will we as a country in 100 years' time when we are 100 years of independence? That is in 2047, Indeed. 25 years from now. We have to think of that now, Vishal.
Indeed, indeed. Eyes set on the next goal out there. I'm sure, Abhijit, you have a lot of things to say, but we're running short of time. Perhaps, we might have a more detailed discussion later on as well. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, all of you, Abhijit, Ajay Banerjee and Admiral Sinha as well for sharing your views and inputs there also. So as our panelists were explaining not only the features, the capability of the new indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, which has been just commissioned to the Indian Navy, but also the significance and the importance of having a second aircraft carrier with the Indian Navy and also the road ahead for the indigenization process. We'll come back.